So, Brother Supreme, we were talking
Yeah,
lady, we were talking about the Lady of Soul, Erica Badu, Cheeks Out.
but
Um,
yeah,
as you were
Badu.
saying, as you were saying, my bro.
I think where I was with the where I was just saying, if she feels comfortable like that within a family, but also she could be deemed as eccentric as well. So um, the daughter might have grown up with that eccentric thing, similar to Grace Jones,
Hmm.
very eccentric people, but we see them like that, so they're not shocking us because they're like that. But when to me, when Badu first came out, she was on this spiritual Afro futurism, from spirituality to Afro futurism.
She was Wakanda before Wakanda was even conceived.
Yeah,
You know what
but there was a movement, really. There is an Afrofuturism kind of movement
Yes,
before
indeed,
all this,
indeed.
and the music scene with that. So I mean, she picked that as a as a way of coming into the music industry. I'm gonna say, when I look at it's very interesting that you said Badu, but when I look at Missy Elliott, and I loved her when she was nice and round, and you know I can see you use the word fat, but when she was slim, it's funny that people do things to themselves, but their personality changes, and they don't seem to be the person that you originally bought into them. You
Hmm.
can't,
Hmm.
yeah, you know what? You can understand, yes, you want to do this to your chest, your nose, your this, your that. But then you realize that person is now changing their personality as well. And I actually look the same with Kanye. Is Kanye West said something about one time when he just blurted it out. He said, "You made me do it," and he was talking to us as his fan base. You made me do this. You made me become what I am. You
Hmm.
made me an addict.
Hmm.
You made me do this. What do you call it? Take these opioids and stuff, and because they said you laughed at me when I was fat. So
Yeah,
and that's
yeah, yeah,
that's what
yeah,
I'm
yeah,
saying. When
yeah.
you become public property, sometimes it can take you down one road. I would say it can make you depressed. It can. Do you go with it? Do you understand? It's a hard thing. I would say, being an artist and trying to stay current, or trying to be a, let's say, a people pleaser, because anything you do is highlighted, amplified, things taken out of context. You get what I mean? You say one word, you understand. So when we see Badu now, Badu is I just love her. She's just an interesting thing. Now, getting back to what Lady Essie said, because I'd done a little bit of research. Badu's perfume, when she launched it, sold out within 24 hours, and this was the scent of her her, her vagina. What
Okay.
is that saying?
In
And I actually,
in Jamaica, they got a phrase. Them people have nothing for out them. Like, have they got anything better to do with themselves? Like, why we're so popular? Like, it just
yeah, but
it begs
but I look,
beg. I beg the question. Like, are they?
but
What's that? Like you
this
said,
is in,
what's all that
yeah,
about, mate? What's all that
yeah.
about?
But all right, she's got a perfume that sells out within 24 hours, and I think it's called Pussy. I think it is. I'm not too sure. I can't remember. But I actually looked at branding and where things is. Was that geared at other women, or was it geared for the men? Does a woman want to smell another woman's vagina on herself? Or is it the scent is made for the man to become erotic, or, oh, I love your perfume. You
Yo,
understand?
steady, steady, steady. It's a family show. We want the kids to get educated.
It's family. No, the
But the
thing
older
is,
members of the family, but family nonetheless.
but you actually got to look at this, because if you go back, because when it comes to music, and I just love talking about music, you can look at groups like the Dolls, and they're talking in sexual codes even the Spice Girls. Because we can say, oh, family, but look what they were doing to the songs they want to put in the playground.
Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah.
You know, what's the Spice Girls' most famous? If you want to be my lover, you mean? I mean, come on, we're having a go at the young boy, but this is what's being sung in the playground.
Okay, okay.
This
So
is what
it's
this is
true.
what the
This is
what
true.
the
This is true. This is a problem. This is a problem or a challenge for my opinion, for
mm,
our cult, for black culture, for that generic thing that we call black
yeah.
culture, that it influences
Mm.
so many black people from different ethnic groups, but they, to the lesser or more degree, it's kind of influential. But just want to bring in Lady Essie because I want to answer a question as a woman specifically. Um,
About perfume.
no, I'm gonna answer a question specifically as a woman,
I don't want
are
when
you
he wears
making trouble,
perfume.
Supreme? Hey?
Huh? Pardon?
No, I said you're making trouble, Supreme. Now I want to pose a question to Lady Essie, right? But I definitely want
Mhm.
a lady's perspective, right? There's this idea because I'm bringing it back to let's make it bigger than Erica because I don't want to pick on Erica, right? Brilliant artist, right? Cheeks out or not, brilliant artist, right? A body of work speaks for itself, no pun intended, right? But there's a thing in I've heard it mentioned before that in societies of old there was a kind of archetype for women or various archetypes and how women evolved. So that one stage there was you had the idea of like the virgin, the mother, and the matriarch. So when you're a certain age and you're unmarried, you're kind of like there's a certain way that a woman will carry herself and kind of operate within a certain sphere. Then when she becomes of a certain age and she's like a mother, for example, she's a wife, she's a mother, there's another vibration and a certain way that she carries herself. Like Supreme said, are you comfortable doing that in front of the kids, sort of thing? And then you got the matriarch, which is the woman when she's past that sort of sexual, at least sexual appealing age, right? But at the same time, now the younger women are leaning on her, not for erotica, but like tips about life and just her wisdom. Like you've been down this road already. So when you was at this stage, big auntie, wagwan, how do I deal with this or how do I deal with that? Has it got a bit mixed up in the modern era, or do you think that's a bad template? That's too imprisoning of people, and they should
Um,
be just wear a
I,
G string if you're 65, just wear it on the beach and feel no way or that. What's your thought?
I, I mean, I would. There's my favorite quote is, "It takes a village to raise a child," and I'll say I'm a product of the village where I've had a lot of people around me, and growing up, there was always a range of different types of women that I would have access to, and some aged, and everyone aged very differently. So I think it depended on where they are in life, and because you had some that would reinvent them, because it's about the ability, the agency to reinvent yourself.
Mm-hmm.
So you have some women that will reinvent themselves at 50 or 60 or 70. Not everyone is going to just because someone gets old doesn't mean they're wise, you
True.
know.
It could just be grown. It's true. That's true.
They could just be grown. So I think it's this thing about it saying it has to be it's stipulating this is how it goes because society has changed. And I remember people are doing things a lot not as young as they used to be. So people are getting married a lot later, having children a lot later. And, certain things were why would they said it has to be done by this? Yes, women are obviously their biological clock is going to determine how things happen. And if you go through the cycle of life. Yes, I guess the cycle of life does determine how you do things, but at some point, it's how comfortable you get in your skin. But if you've always been a particular personality, you grow with that personality. So you may just become a little bit more eccentric as you get older. And
Mm-hmm.
you may just adapt how you are. So you may, yeah, like you said, it might just be that's different from the woman who's probably trying to hold on to her youth, who hasn't accepted where she is and trying to be young still, where the woman who has accepted who she is and has always been a particular way and ages gracefully through it. And so she's still the same, if that makes sense, but more grown,
No,
if that
if I understand you correctly, as I guess an interpretation of what you're saying sounds like, I'm going to use this metaphor that there are women who can present themselves as physically attractive, right, at
mm.
different ages. But what a woman at 21, a young woman at 21 might choose to wear, the fashion, the style that she might choose to wear, might be different to when she's 40.
Yes.
and it might be different to when she's 59. Again, it might
Yes.
change. They all could look attractive, they all could look elegant, but there's something about what appropriateness. So you can look
And
sophisticated and exquisite, but you can't look like you're 18 when you're a woman at 59.
and and
It's
and
extremely rare to look like that or
And the
to
thing is, and the thing is, you go through different versions of yourself. So the version of yourself at 40 will have to be different to the version of yourself at 20. Because in your 20s, you're a little bit less secure. You're a little bit more looking for validation. Do you mean? So you've evolved because that is what we're meant to do, evolve as. And you're going to go through different versions of yourself as a woman. And that's the Supreme alluded to. Yes, like you said, if I do this, would my family be happy with me doing this? So you're not going to wear the same clothing you wore, like I said, in your 20s at a particular age. You're going to dress for the version of, I would say you would dress for the version of yourself that you're showing up as,
okay.
because you're going to be a different version than you were before, because you would have, you, I'm saying you should, I'm not, I hate the word should, but you would have grown, you would have evolved, you would have reinvented yourself. And what worked for you at 20 is not going to work for you at 40.
Mm,
But it
mm.
doesn't mean you're not less attractive. You still may be wearing stuff that makes you look amazing. It's just, it's going to meet that version of yourself that you are at this time, you know?
No, that makes a lot of sense. I'm thinking if I was going to use an analogy, I would say it when I think of, say, for example, performance athletes, sports people, whether it's combat sports or I don't know, athletics or something like that. You might have a person that's at a high level in their
Yeah.
teens, right? But how they might execute their sport, like for example, a boxer, how he might fight at 20 and he's still boxing when he's like in his late 30s, is not going to be the same way. He's going to be using his
Yeah.
knowledge, his experience, his ring generalship, not just his pure youthful zeal and athleticism. You have to adapt
Yes.
with the terrain as time goes on and you change. So you kind of like learn to adapt your skill and you can still be relevant. Just want to bring in Supreme. I know that you're going to have an opinion about the virgin, the mother, and the matriarch, the stages of a woman's evolution. And this could be, luckily, Lady Essie's here, so this can't be seen as two patriarchal men just, restricting and
Yeah.
oppressing women, but we're just sharing opinions as adults and sharing our perspective. So what's your thoughts about that? The stages of a woman. You're a bit of a lady
That
connoisseur, so to speak.
a lady
I
come,
understand
a
it.
lady come. I'm kind of trying to figure out how to answer this question. What women um
Should she have her cheeks out at 54?
you know what? I don't know. I mean, remember, the thing is, that's the entertainment industry.
Uh-huh, uh-huh.
Is it a thing that you would is it every day you're like walking around like this? You get what I mean? It's like Essie said, is it a publicity stunt? Okay, yeah, she's done it for the day. Oh, she's going out. Oh, the cameras are there. I'm playing to the audience. I'm playing for the camera. Then,
Mm.
oh, she does this every day. Then
Okay, so
what
what
would you
about
do
women
then?
in general then? So if we take the same sort of question, but like talking about the stages of women in general, so the virgin, the mother, the matriarch, like what's appropriate at the different stages? Just your own opinion. I guess there's no right or wrong answer, but you're entitled to your perspective.
I'm kind of a little bit needing clarification on what you mean with the three stages. What is it? The
So there's this argument, right, that suggests that there's what they call archetypes,
Okay,
these archetypes that women fit into in society, right? And it's supposed to be a kind of ancient idea. So you got the idea of the virgin. These are the women that are just becoming adult, just early adulthood, but they're unmarried women necessarily, right? And they are at a certain stage, right? They're youthful, they're fertile, they're at a certain stage. And then you got women that are now married and they're mums, right? And they got
mm,
that's a different stage. You know what I mean?
mm,
The image can't be everything because they're a mum, so they got other imperatives, but they're at another stage. They have a long-term life partner, etc. And then you have the matriarch, the woman who she might have gone for a menopause, so she's at a different stage now. She ain't
yeah.
trying to get the cheeks out or get the girls out, the cleavage and everything. She's supposed to be looked to for her wisdom about life and stuff like that. So what? Yeah, that's the kind of overview of it. What's your thoughts about that?
You know what?
And don't be distracted because I said cleavage or the girls. Just stay on task.
I know.
Stay on
My
task.
mind, I had to just wipe my eyes, not my ears. Like, gosh. Um, You know, I don't know how to answer this because I think I'm just gonna stray. So I find this hard because you're saying an archetype. When you're saying this archetype, the one thing that comes to mind, and I'm not into conspiracy. I mean, I don't want it to seem like conspiracy, but I always think that black women are under attack by the beauty industry anyway, to look a certain way. Um, most of the products are geared at black women. Do you get what I mean?
Mm.
When you walk down the road now, there are more hair shops for us than, let's say, the Europeans. So there's always this thing that you've got to look a certain way as a black woman and keep up.
Mm.
And that's what I see, that are we under attack for a reason? Oh, sorry, are black women under attack for a reason? You know, what I'm seeing now, and I'm straying a bit because you started off
I
with
think it's
culture.
relevant though, and I think it's a really crucial point, bro. So to
Yeah,
please
one
continue.
thing I'm seeing, right? And this, I said to myself, this is interesting, I'm driving my van at work at 12 o'clock. As I'm driving my van, I am seeing women in their nightgowns walking on the street getting a bottle of milk, or they're walking their children to and from school. Now, as a man, and I don't know how Lady Essie sees this, but I was thinking, hold on a minute. If this woman has come out in her 90s, that means she has not washed. She has come straight from bed, straight out. So this is, to me, a sign of, like, the hygiene, the way what is going on with this culture that's coming over here.
Mm, mm,
I
mm, mm.
think it's coming from Europe personally, but what I'm beginning to see is that some of the young black girls are starting to pick up this behavior. And I'm thinking, this is interesting. How have you picked this up? Because I know, if a young girl has been brought up by a mother a certain way, she
Yeah.
ain't leaving her house without doing her pre-treatment before she goes on street, wash her
Mhm.
things and go out. But now look what's happening. So I'm saying,
You think it comes from Europe, you say? What makes you say that?
because I mainly see the Romanians do this.
Okay, okay, I hear
And
that.
mainly seeing Eastern European people, they just walk around in the not pajamas, what do you call it? Nightgown and the full
Okay.
blown thing
Yeah,
on
yeah.
street like it's nothing.
Mm, 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 mm.
You understand? But to me, I'm saying, as a man, I'm thinking I could be wrong, and I'd like to ask you this question. The first thing I'm thinking is that this person has not washed themselves, or they ain't done their pre thing before they come out of bed, or wash their teeth. Go and, especially as a woman, go and wash your things,
Mm,
dry off, and change into your clothes. Now,
mm.
the thing that I see is, I see that, but as a child going to school, and other children seeing your mum or yourself like that, I think they must be looking and thinking your mum's nasty.
Well, maybe it's normalized though, because if you look at the bonnet culture, I know there's a little skirmish, used to be online skirmishes about that because of what it symbolized more than literally just wearing a bonnet. It's just a piece of cloth. It's like a hat. It's like any head
Yeah,
covering a scarf. But because a bonnet was like almost like a part of your pajamas, you tie up your head and wear it
yeah,
nighttime and stuff like that. So you wearing that in the street, and then the bed slippers, and then the sliders with the fur, and then this kind of bed
yeah.
slippers. You can't. I was looking at it. Is it an extension of that culture, or that kind of fashion, or like you said, it's just, boy, I just don't really care. I ain't really Ola Fresh, and this is me. You know what I mean? So
but that's what I'm saying. I mean, is it because I'm of an age that I look at this as, what, this is nasty? But
might be age to do some things. I definitely think are generational when it comes to culture. I'm of a certain age. I'll just give you an example. Before I bring you in, ladies, I'll just give you an example. Like when as a person of Caribbean extraction, dogs in your house and on your bed and near your dining table and these type of
Yeah.
things was not part of our kind of like West Indian old school culture, black culture. There was move dog, and the dog would get booed out that literally, figuratively and literally. If you did have a dog,
Yeah.
it would get booed out of the house at meal times, and like it don't go to certain parts of the house, right? As a Caribbean person, West Indian black person. But now, like, you look at the young kids with their little pit bulls and all that stuff, and the way they handle their dogs and have them up under them, as to use a phrase, yeah, and all over the house and stuff. I've had friends of my age group talk about, oh, my nephew, or da da da, and him and the dog. And so I could tell, okay, they've changed and they're more like the indigenous British people, in
Mm.
terms of how they like more friendly with their dogs and have, so it's just a generational thing. That was
But again, right? I know, strain again. I would say even when I was younger, right, half the age where I'm now, I used to think, am I a snob? I didn't used to like girls who smoke weed.
no, you're
There's
not.
certain
No,
things that
you're
I
not
say,
straight. You're
nah,
not
man,
straight.
them things is they big what I mean, I might be straying on that. I see women that are supposed to be feminine, not masculine. And when I see women doing masculine things, it's a turn off for me. Like, rah,
Oh,
girl
that's a
rolling up a spliff, right? Her
that's a
lips are
good point
going
to bring.
like,
That's a
and it's
good point
not,
to bring Lady Essie in. That's a good point to bring Lady
yeah,
Essie in. Not because, and I'm not. I don't
Um,
mean no. I
not
don't mean it
because
as no.
Lady S is masculine.
No, I don't. No, I don't mean it in that way. That's why I'm going to clarify. I just meant as a woman, because again, I'm aware that just as me and you talking as men, there'll be people that listen to this conversation and think, "Look at it, patriarch. Why can't if a man can do it, why can't a woman do it?" So a little telephone chalice or the high grade. Is it masculine, Lady Essie, if she wants to back a beer down, God forbid, or
um, again, it comes down to who sets the rules, but it is everyone's preference. But the dressing, the dressing with the slippers and the dressing gown outside, I haven't understood that because, you know, categorizing clothing, some clothings are just for the house. And,
Yeah,
if you're going to go outside, you would just put, because I guess it's that, if it's how you present yourself. It's all about appearance. If you're going outside and you have those quick jogging bottoms or trainers that you put on if you have to quickly go outside.
yeah, I feel
If
like
yeah,
if you need
the
yeah,
to,
ones doing
yeah.
the
I
school
mean,
run always wear
if you want to do
leggings.
school,
That always
yeah,
seem
you
to have
have you
leggings
yeah
on.
you have your dash to the shop school run outfits that you can just put on very quickly or run outside that you have. It's the whole culture of people not making an effort, and I kind of feel that that's what's missing as well. Like, what I mean, context, make a bit more of an effort, like when you're going somewhere, dress up a little bit, make a bit more of an effort. And it comes, there's a quote that I like: how you do anything is how you do everything.
Oh.
So, make more of an effort, just, oh, yeah, but it's just that I couldn't be bothered. It shows up. I'm not saying that's what it is, but it's
Mm,
like, just, make more of an effort. There's a reason why you wear certain things in the house, or why you would put on clothes to go out. So it's how people see you, because how you dress and your style communicates to people your personality, whether you like it or not. People are always judging.
True.
So you can say, well, I don't care if I'm going out like this. People don't know me, but yeah, but
mm,
people have nothing else to know you on.
Yeah.
mm.
And
So
I know
they're
that
going
if
to make
somebody's
they're
dressed,
going
if
to
I'm
make it.
lost and I see somebody dressed in a police uniform, I know you can't judge a book by its cover,
But
but
you're
I
assuming
will.
they're a
I
police
will ask
officer.
them for directions more than somebody who's got I don't know, like a balaclava covering their face and they're wearing a night tech. I might ask the police in a strange country and I'm lost. I might ask the guy in the police uniform and not
Because I mean, it's fun. I mean, it's funny because
the
I've been to Ghana a couple of times since, and I haven't seen that. I haven't seen the going out with. I said that there's still an element of you have the quick clothing that you wear, like I said, the tracksuit bottoms or the little light dress, or you have the kind
Yeah,
of outfits you just wear to go out, the casual, the real casual
yeah.
that you go out with, and that's what I've always seen, and that's what it's like when I've traveled. That's what you see. So this culture of wearing things that is just like. I don't know. But I guess it's become normalized, so no one does question it anymore. So it has now become part of the culture here now because no one really questions it. So it's
Mm.
something that's okay. But in terms of what Supreme said about, that's a preference, and I guess, but yes, for some people, it would be like, what does it look to be more feminine or masculine, and who prescribes it now? Because obviously now there are different descriptions, but yeah, it's everyone, each to their own and each preference.
Yeah, I hear that.
Mm,
I hear that. I hear that. The world has changed post-feminism. I couldn't help
It
getting one.
mm,
I couldn't
it
get that
has
one in.
changed.
I
It
couldn't,
has
yeah.
changed, and we all have to keep navigating because it keeps changing. So it's
Yeah.
about being aware.
I think the Stoics say the one thing that is constant is change. The only thing that is constant is change,
mm.
right? So embrace it. Embrace change.
Embrace change if it suits you though, as I said, and but then where we need to challenge certain norms and things, yeah, we keep
Oh
challenging
no,
them.
no, no, no. I was saying the Stoics say embrace change.
Oh, yes,
They don't mean
embrace
like,
change.
meaning adapt. They don't mean like everything that comes up
Oh,
is good. It just means that, like nothing stays
but no,
static.
no, but what you
Pace of
said
life
about
evolves. You know
yeah,
what I mean?
yeah, but what you just said there, but that's what I'm saying. People say adapt, change, but what I'm saying is a lot of people are thinking what was good in the past is no longer good. So people are changing things that were not broken
Yeah.
and making us adapt to things that, well, this new way isn't always the best way. Just because
Yeah.
it's old doesn't mean it's
No,
broken.
no, we don't have to throw out the baby with the bathwater. And in fact,
Yeah.
my idea of adapting to the world and change is more like I think of that Stoic saying as more like if I believe in virtue, right, and honesty, how do I navigate being honest in a world as the world's changed and become less honest or less virtuous? But how do I maintain my virtue as opposed to saying, well, boy, it's a world of lying online
And
and hearsay and spreading
and
gossip and having no proof. So I'm gonna just go with it. No, no, I'm still
and
gonna be
and
integral, but how do I navigate that as the
and
world
if,
is changing around
and
me?
if we take it back to the beginning, what you just said there, back to the first video we spoke about, that is what I'm talking about in the sense of if you're still keeping your virtues as people that had that young boy in the thing, you would have been like, yo, you know what? Because if you were there, if you had seen that happening, you would have been like, that can't go on. Do you mean there would have been a different way of it happening? But a lot of people are like,
Somebody
yeah,
has to say something. I don't know if you've
someone
ever
has.
been in that environment where you think, am I the only person who's gonna have to say something? But then you end up saying it because it looks like nobody's gonna speak up.
Yeah, so that's what I'm trying to say. So even though for now a lot of people are accepting things as like we're saying, if someone sends you a particular video, do you need to send it on or do you need to challenge it? Go, why did you send me that? Are we just accepting things as normal because we're in a new age and we need to, rather than although yes, it's changed, but not everything should change
Indeed,
for
indeed,
the
indeed,
better, for the worse.
indeed, indeed. And on that note, I think we will have to draw things to a close. But I just want to give you both the highest respect and thanks for coming through my front room on the High Caliber Man podcast. And can you
Mm.
say where we can hear more of your information, Supreme Lady Essie? Can you say a bit about the More Knowledge Show before we jump off?
So pray.
Is he awake?
Oh, I'll let you. Yeah, I'm here. I'll let
No,
Lady
the
Oh, yeah,
more
figure it
Lady
out.
Essie do
So,
the honors. Lady
let,
Essie,
let me do the
it's over
honors.
to you. Over to you.
Okay, so the More Knowledge Show happens every Wednesday from 6 to 9 p.m. on Conscious Radio. You can find Conscious Radio, www.consciousradio.com, Conscious, CONCIOUS radio.com. So visit the website, tune in, lock in, and thank you, Who, for coming into your front room.
Thank you both. And to the listeners who stayed for the duration, till next time, peace. Hey guys, thanks for watching the podcast. And if you enjoyed it, remember to smash the like button and feel free to leave a comment, to share, and even click on the subscribe button for your free subscription. Till next time, peace.